Hi Flosstube, welcome to my channel. My name is Lynn and I'm the Lancashire Stitcher. This is Flosstube number 10. So if you're new here, welcome. This is a channel mainly about cross stitch, but I do include other crafts. And if you're returning, welcome back. Lovely to see you all again. I'm looking forward to showing you some of my stitching. Today is Saturday the 16th of January 2021. It's rather dull outside. It's been pouring down during the night, so it's not too dark though that I can't see what I'm doing. So on my last video I had a few questions. So Tess asked me if I use any silks or posh floss. Generally I use DMC, Weeks Dye Works, Gentle Arts or Classic Colourworks. But I have used Dinky Dyes, NPIs, Karen Threads, Gorianas, Valdanis. Depends what I'm stitching really. If the chart calls for NPIs, for example, drawn threads usually have NPIs. I'll use them if I've got them, or if they've come with the chart, if I've bought a kit from Nimble Thimble. My Egypt Garden by Chatelaine, that calls for Gloriana, Dinky Dyes, and I think it might have Karen Threads as well as Rainbow Gallery, so I've got those. And then Valdani threads I'm using on my Autumn Quakers by Rosewood Manor. So yeah, I do use other threads. It just depends what it is I'm stitching on. Spalding asked me, where do I hang my mirabilias, or rather my big designs? Usually I hang them around the house, but I am running out of space. This one here, which is a lavender and lettuce in the arms of an angel, that used to hang in my living room, but then while I've been making videos, I've kept it in here in my craft room, and she goes on the radiator when I'm doing my videos. You may notice she's in a different frame. A few videos ago I put her on the radiator ready to film and it slid off and smashed the glass, so I had to reframe her. So luckily I had a frame that was suitable. So yeah, she's in a new frame. Wendy Mallinson asked me what kit do I use to make my videos. She's interested in making her own floss tubes. So in case anybody else is wondering, I film on my iPhone, which is on a tripod that I bought from Amazon, which sits on my table in my craft room. When I finish the video I upload it to OneDrive and then download it onto my laptop. On my laptop I have a free video editing software called VSDC Video Editor. You can get that on the internet. And I edit it, add pictures, sounds, etc. and then I upload it to YouTube. Marzipan Stitcher asked me if I've got any tips for keeping stitching neat. Now when I first saw this question I just thought, well, I use a hoop or a Q-snap to keep my tension tight, but then the more I've thought about it I actually do more than that, because it's just I've done it for so long, it's just natural for me to do it. So if I'm stitching with DMC, I'll use the loop method, where you just pull one thread from the 6 stranded cottons and then put the ends together and thread it through your needle. But then if I'm using hand dyed or posh floss, I'll pull one thread at a time from the cotton, so you get 2 separate cottons, and then put them back together, thread them, which it untwists them, they're not twisted as much then. And then I also railroad. I only do it on the top stitch of the cross. Railroading is where you put your needle in between the 2 threads when you're going back down through the fabric, and that separates the threads out, so when the stitch comes together the threads are laying next to each other. They don't tend to twist. So like I said, I've been doing that for so long, it's just natural now. So it was like, I don't know, didn't realise what I was doing basically. Right, okay, so stitching. I have one fully finished object, FFO, and it is my Stitch by Stitch by Lavender, not Lavender and Lace, it's by Blackbird Designs. I made it into hearts with some nice fabric on the back, and yeah, as I said, this fabric here was quite stiff, so it's not gone as nice and smoothly round there as this side did. But yeah, I'm happy with how that's come out, so I love that. That's my fully finish. New start, I've got one new start, and it is Springtime by New York Dreamer. And I'm loving this. Board. That's what I've got done so far. I love this. I really like how it's been stitching up. I love the design of the letters. So I think it's going to be really nice when it's finished. So that's how much I got done. Using albacore for threads. And it's on 32 count vintage country marker. So that's my new start. Okay, whips. Okay, right. The other day I watched Shanda at Stitching in Idaho on Flosstube, where she challenged Flosstubers to count how many whips they have. Yep. So I accepted the challenge, and I said I'd tell her how many I got in this video. So luckily I keep a database, and I put in whether it's a whip or it's not been used or whatever, and then I transferred them onto Excel and printed out the whips. I have 97 whips. Yeah. 97 whips. The ones that are highlighted yellow, I've got 3 pages here. The ones that are highlighted yellow, of which there are 20, they are pretty close to a finish. So they're the ones I'm going to focus on for the next year or so. But yeah, I ended up having to throw a couple of my whips, because I'll show you one. This one, as you can see, it's all creased up. This one, it's Elephants by Janlin. I got it out and there were no threads in it. It was a kit, obviously bought years and years and years ago. 1991 it says on the front. I don't know if that's when I bought it, but I know I've had it a long time. And this is what I've got done. And all the threads have gone out the packet. I have no idea where they are, what I've done with them or anything. So basically I've started unpicking this. I've got a few loose threads on it, thinking I can use this fabric for something else. It's a nice light grey linen, so I'm not going to throw it out. So it's going to take me a while to unstitch that, because it's a few colours in there. But yeah, so that's one I had to throw out, and there was another couple I threw out because either they didn't have a key with them or something like that, and they were just, they've been in there for years, and yeah, pardon me. So I've got 97 whips now. I'm going to end up with more because of my plans for the year, but hopefully I'm going to get some of those off the finished, because there are a few that are really close to a finish. So I'm hoping to get them finished. And there are a few smalls in there. I'm going to show you a few over the video that I'm going to be stitching on. But I've got a few here that I'm going to show you now, because they're pretty old. So this first one is Ross Originals Tiger. It's looked like this for years. I keep thinking I'll pull it out and stitch on it. No. Keep thinking no, but I'm not going to throw it out, because that's a lot of work in there, and I do like the finished result. It's just I need to get to do it, so hopefully it will get finished at some point. But that's one of my oldest whips. The pattern is actually written. It's not a computer generated chart, it's written symbols. So that's that one. My next one, can't even show you all of it. This was, it was a round robin that I was taking part in several years ago. It's the patterns, it's Dear Santa. It was in a magazine. It's a Margaret Sherry pattern for an Afghan. And I took part in a round robin. So I stitched on about 7 or 8 of these blankets. And then a few went missing in the post. Not from me, but other people went missing. So they stopped the round robin. They said, right, return the one you've got. But then this one that I had, this wasn't mine. This was somebody else's. And this only had this set of footprints on, done by Kim in the UK. So Kim, if you're watching, still here. And then I felt awful returning this to the sender when all it had was a pair of footprints. The person before me, I think, had kept hold of it for quite some time and they hadn't sent it on. So I sent the one I had, sent mine to the lady whose this was, because that had quite a lot of squares on. I said, it's fine, I'll do it myself, and never did do. I've done that much on it. So there's lots of different squares about Santa getting ready for Christmas and delivering the presents and things. So yeah, I would like to do it, but again, it's one of them things I just don't think about. I do have the pattern. I think it's downstairs somewhere, because this was in a bag. It won't fit in a project bag. But yeah, it was in a magazine. It was like a part works. I think it was Cross Stitcher or World of Cross Stitching, one of the two. And it was just different squares. So yeah, I am hoping to get this done at some point, but I don't know when. So that's another one of my whips. And then this one, yeah. This one I started stitching when one of my children was young, and it's called Me First, and it's a Margaret Sherry design. No, it's not. It's a Country Companions design by DMC. It was a kit. I do have all the stuff for it. And again, it's not far off finished, but yeah, it's Country Companions, lots of blended threads and yeah. So yeah, it's another one. I have stitched on it recently. I put it in my monthly challenge and I did do some on it. So yeah, it will get finished, this one. I just don't know when. It obviously needs an iron. It's been in the bag for a while. Now this next one was a round robin. Again, this is what happens with my round robins if I don't stitch them before they go. This one, sorry, my throat's suddenly on, yucky. This one was a Mirabilia Ladies one. And Melissa in Canada, Erica in the UK, and Judy in New Zealand stitched those ones. I didn't stitch mine, so that's all that's missing off this one. And it's from a while ago, so yeah, I need to pull my finger out and get that done. So yeah, because I just said just stitch a lady on it, and so they stitched whichever one they want. You basically just took a bit of a Mirabilia chart and made it fit in the rectangle. So yeah, I will get that done eventually. And then this next one is from this book, The Cross Stitch Nursery. I think I started stitching this for one of my children when they were a baby, probably my youngest Sammy. I'm stitching this, Welcome Baby. And yeah, again, not finished. It's been washed several times. I did have it in my monthly challenge a few months ago where I did this here. I started some of the back stitch, and I said I'm not going to do the lacy edging around the outside because it's very 90s. But I would like to stitch it maybe for my new granddaughter. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, that must be from maybe 93. So they're my whips. So yeah, 97 whips. I'm going to show you some more later. So my actual whips that I've been working on. First one, as always, is One Nation by Bygone Stitches. Stitching this as well as the One Nation Sal hashtag. one start, one stay a week, and it's getting quite big now. I stitched Minnesota and Oregon this time, so it's getting that big. There we go. So yeah, quite happy with how that's coming along. It will get finished this year. It's going to be stitched every week. My next one is Temperature Typography by Stitching Mommy. I'm really enjoying stitching on this. I stitch on it every day. I look at what the maximum temperature was the day before, and then stitch it in the right colour according to the key. And that's what I've got done so far. I've stitched on it this morning before I started filming, so I'm on the U. We've had yesterday was very cold. It was purple. So yeah, happy with that. That's a piece of Paul Stitch's grab bag fabric. This next one is Heritage Crafts Cha Cha. Now this has been in my whip box for quite some time, and then I watched Janet Jabber's video a couple of videos ago, and she mentioned the One Strand a Night Facebook group, and I just thought that's an idea and that's something I could do, and get one of my whips out that was not been touched for a while and get that done. So I thought, when I saw this one, I thought, yeah, because every time I see this, I think, no, I can't be bothered. It was a kit, full kit. I've got it on linen. It says even weave there. And all I'd done about 2 rows of the purple there, and then I'd done a bit of, purple there, and then I'd done a bit of the yellow at the side of a dress. And then it had just got left. Because anybody who knows Heritage Crafts kits, they use a lot of blends, they use a lot of half crosses, small stitches. So yeah, anyway, so I've been doing 1 strand a night, and I think I started it on the 7th, but I did 7 threads, so I could say it actually started on the 1st of January. So that's that one. And it's still in my Q-snap, because I just keep it in the Q-snap, then it's ready to stitch on every day. And there's my board. That's what I've got done so far, and I'm really surprised at how fast it's growing, really, just doing 1 strand a night. So like I say, I had 2 rows of this purple done, and then a tiny bit of the yellow on the dress, and then I've managed to do all that and the rest of this purple in the time I've been doing it. So yeah, I'm really happy with that. So I'm going to carry on with that 1 strand a night, or 1 strand a day, and see how it grows. So the next one is 3 Little Maids, another Heritage Crafts kit. So you may remember in the last video I had 2 maids done, and this one needed its chest filling in and also the white on its face. So I'll show you what this one looks like. There we go. So I finished this little maid, did the back stitch on it, and then I've done some of the shadowing at the bottom, and then I've made a start on the 3rd maid. So yeah, happy with how that's coming along as well. That's been stitched on even weave too, using DMC threads. So yeah, happy with that. The next one is Autumn ABCs by Little House Needleworks. Stitching this on a piece of 2-tone banding, and I'm really happy with how much I've got done on this on my board. So I've managed to get down as far as Scarecrow. So you may recall there were a few of the leaves not finished off, and I'd made a start on this bit here, but I filled in the quilt there, the bird at the bottom. I've done the letters from O, so I've done P, Q, R, S, and then Scarecrow, pumpkins, and I've done one of the pumpkins. So happy with that. Yeah. Next one is Stargazer by Mirabilia. Yeah, Mirabilia. I'm stitching this in a red conversion. It's called Nicole's version, and you can find it on the Mirabilia Full Conversions Facebook group. And that's how much I've got done. So I finished off this bulky ribbon here. I've done some of the red down here. I've decided on the creamy coloured part of a dress. So yeah, I'm really happy with how that's coming on. This is Post Stitches fabric. I'm not sure what colourway. So yeah, happy with that. My next one is the Drawn Threads Random Thoughts. So yeah, liking stitching on this. This was bought as a kit from Nimble Thimble. So that's what I've got done so far. So this time I did this bit here with my initials in, the little ladybird, this white satin stitch bit, and this bit here with the heart and the 2 bees. So really liking how this is coming out. So yeah, I like how the white stands out on the fabric. My next one is Egypt Garden by Chatelaine. I'm stitching this on a piece of even weave fabric using all the called for colours, and that's what I've got done. So I've done all this here and this here. Last time I'd gone, as you may recall, I've done this in the wrong colour, but I'm not unstitching it. I've also, after Jeanette reminded me, I've put a T to tell me which is the top. So yeah, I thought what I'm going to do now, instead of keep changing pages, because I'm using GoodNotes on my iPad to read the chart, I'm just going to do a page. So this, I'm going to do this side and then I'll move on to the next page. So yeah, that's why it stops there and stops there. Otherwise you're just constantly having to change pages. This gets filled in with a dinky dyes, which I haven't got at the moment, so I'll have to see if I can get hold of that. So yeah, happy with that. My next one is World Peace Angel by Lavender and Lace. I really like this design. I've wanted to stitch this for a while and now I'm stitching it. Stitching this on a piece of 32 count silver lining fabric by Pond Stitches, and that's what I've got done so far. So I did some more of the purple here, I did some of the gold colour here, and then I moved down to down her arm, and I've started on the 1/1 on her hands. You could do 2/2 on her hands, but I like the detail in the 1/1, so yeah, I'm quite happy with how that's coming along. But yeah, the next one is Through the Storms by Silver Creek Samplers. I'm stitching this on a piece of grab bag Paul Stitches fabric. I finished the time on this last night, so that's what I've got done so far. So I did another 2 lines of writing, I did some of the raindrops, and I've started on the cloud at the top. So happy with how that's coming along. Really like how it looks on this fabric too. Okay, so next weekend is the 24 hours of cross stitch marathon weekend. So about 4 times a year, 24 hours of cross stitch, which is a Facebook group, put on these weekends where you stitch for 24 hours in between midnight Thursday night and midnight Sunday night. I've only done one before, if I'm working, then I don't get to do them because I'm usually planning at the weekend. Anyway, so this one is next weekend. So what I like to do, I pick 8 projects that I'm going to stitch on for 3 hours each. But I don't stitch on them for 3 hours solid. I put them on the Tiny Decisions app, and then every hour I'll click on the button on the decisions wheel, and it picks what I'm going to stitch on for an hour. So then at least I know I'm stitching on something different every hour, but I can have a break every hour. So I'll do 8 hours Friday, 8 hours Saturday, 8 hours Sunday, and then, you know, I'll take a break to have a loo break, or my lunch, or, you know, whatever. But I do stitch for 8 hours every day. So I'm going to show you the 8 things that I've picked to stitch on next weekend. Some of these are whips that I said I'm going to focus on for this year. So we'll see how we go on. So the first one is Merry Little Christmas by Shepherd's Bush. This isn't far off finished, so we'll see how we go on next weekend with it. This was a kit, so that's what I got done so far. Tiny stitches, using only 1 thread on this. So yeah, hoping I can get it finished, but all close to finished. That's that one. My next one is Amaryllis by Vonna. This is one of my Letters of the Month pieces. I have actually stitched on it. I'm going to show you now. I've done 3 hours on it already, so I'm going to do another 3 hours at the weekend, and then that will be this one finished for this month. 6 hours I do 6 hours on the Letters of the Month pieces, so I've already done 3, another 3 next weekend. This was a kit. It's got Ada fabric, and that's what I've done so far. That's 3 hours work. So yeah, I'm going to do another 3 hours on next weekend. So yeah, I'm liking how the colours are coming out in this. The next one is Boris by Plum Street Samplers. This is my other Letters of the Month piece for January. I've not started this yet. I've already got it as one of my whips on my sheet, because when I do my planning for the month, I'll sort it out. I'll put them on my database as whips if they're not already whips. So this is already a whip. It won't be a new whip. But yeah, it's a new start that I'm starting this month, this next weekend. The next one is Calendar Bears by Designworks. This was my New Year, New Start. The idea was that I was going to get a bear a month done, and I've not stitched on it since New Year's Day. So I'm going to stitch 3 hours on it next weekend, see how far I get. Hopefully it'll get the bug going again. So, as I've shown you before, the only thing I've got done is the little balloon. Okay, the next one is one of my old round robins again. Now this, I've got the pictures, they're all creased up. It's called 7 Dancing Queens. It was in, I think it was Cross Stitcher magazine, and these charts went round with my round robin, that's why they're so creased up. And I think somebody dropped out, I think. Something happened. So I've had to, although I don't really need to on this. So, sorry, all the creases in it, but I've got 6 of the 7 done. I did the one at the top, and then we've got Emma in the northeast. There's no name on that one. Tamsin from Berkshire, Laura from West Yorkshire and Glenys from West Yorkshire. And this was done in 2008, so that shows how old it is. So I started stitching the 7th one at the bottom. So I just need to finish that one. So I'm going to stitch on that next weekend, and hopefully get that finished soon. So my next one is a little cover kit called Be Happy. That came with Cross Stitcher magazine, and I started stitching it, and I got his face, cheeks and face. Yeah, so yeah, another Margaret Sherry design. So I don't know how old this is, don't say when it's from. I do have the page with the pattern on in the bag, but yeah, I want to get that done. So yeah, that's one I've got done for next weekend. And then the next one is another rain robin. There's a little pattern emerging here. I used to do quite a lot of rain robins, and the idea was that I'd have my bit stitched on it before it went out, but then sometimes I didn't. This next one is the Catitudes calendar from 2003, and this went round as a rain robin, which is why it's got a big crease in it because it was folded. And it was actually a rain robin in 2007, it tells me on my design. So this is what I've got done so far. As you can see, I've got part of one done in the middle at the top, and then there's an empty square at the bottom. So I need to do 1.5 of them. So people who've stitched on this one, we've got Susan in Canada. There's no name on that one. No name on that one. There's only Susan in Canada, put a name on. So yeah, so this is a piece of Ada fabric. It's obviously got some sort of vintage look going, but yeah. So I'd obviously done the Catitudes words in the middle, and then done the sectioned out the squares, and then yeah, it's been in my bag, in my box, sorry, for quite some time. So yeah, I'm going to stitch on that next weekend too. So yeah, I think that's it. Yeah, 8 pieces. So they're my 8 pieces that I'm going to stitch on for the marathon weekend next weekend. So haul. Can't really say it's haul. It's not haul, it's Christmas presents. So I've got a few things here that I've got as Christmas presents. So my first one is Body Threads. It's a Myra Blackburn design called Season and Time. I've seen Blitz Stitch stitching this, and yeah, I just thought I need to get it. Even though one of my whips is Myra Blackburn's 3 Things Sampler. Yeah, I've got this one as well now. So yeah, I've got that one. I really like the alphabet at the bottom on this. So yeah, full kit. The next one is Quaker Snowflakes by Hello from Liz Matthews. Another one that I like. This one is RTO's Warmth in and Palms Robin. I do like this little robin. Yeah, another kit. Yeah. And then I've got Santa's Secret by Dimensions. Another full kit. And then this one is Luke and Princess Leia, Star Wars. I saw this stitched up on Facebook, and I just thought that's really nice. And then when my brother got me an Amazon voucher, I saw it on Amazon and just had to have it, and it's come from America. So yeah, I do like that, even though it's black fabric, but it is Ada, so it shouldn't be too bad to stitch on. So yeah, I do like that one. So they're my Christmas presents. Right, life update. I'll start with I had a tooth out on Monday. It had broken a few weeks before Christmas, and I went for an emergency dentist appointment, and basically they said it needed to come out. Fine, okay. But we waited till this week to have it taken out, then because they said you don't really want it taken out just before Christmas. So yeah, I had it out on Monday. So I had a couple of days where I didn't go out for a walk. I have been walking. But yeah, I had a couple of days off. So the weather's been pretty rubbish too. We had quite a lot of snow last week, and then this week we've had quite a bit of rain. It's poured down during the night, as I said before. But yeah, I have been walking though around the streets, mainly because we're now in lockdown. It's basically just like we were before. It's supposed to be a national lockdown, but it's nothing like the lockdown we had last March, because people are going out, more people are going out to work. The schools are open only for key worker children and vulnerable children, although the key worker list has gone up. You know, they've put more occupations on the key worker list. So a lot of children are at home, but then you've still got the elite sports still going on, and there's still a lot of cars on the road, not like last year when there was hardly anything on the roads. So yeah, we are in lockdown, but you can go out for exercise for, well, once a day, but you have to go for, like, walk from your house. You can't get in your car and drive to the countryside to go for a walk. A lot of people did do that, but they've said no, you shouldn't be doing that. You should be staying in your local area. So basically I go out and walk around the streets, which isn't fantastic, but needs must. If I wanted to, I could walk up to Darwin Tower from here, because it's only a mile and a half, 2 miles up to Darwin Tower from here. But we are in a valley, so you know, wherever I go for a walk, it's uphill, downhill. And Darwin Tower is up a very big hill. But yeah, so I have been walking. I think the most I've done is just under 4 miles in a day, walking around the streets. So yeah, it's been okay, but I have had a few days off this week. Work-wise, there hasn't been any. As far as the agency is concerned, even though it's very unlikely there's going to be any work, it's still possible. So they won't furlough, mainly because the government have said employers have to pay contributions now where they didn't last year, and the agency aren't willing to do that. So basically, as far as they're concerned, tough. So yeah, I don't really expect you to live on nothing. I still need a car and a phone to be able to work, so I'm at risk of losing them, because even though we did have some work before Christmas, it wasn't the level of work that I'd been used to before all the COVID. My husband's been off for a few days too. His work have asked him to take a few days holiday because there isn't any work. So he's been off Thursday and Friday, and then he's off Monday, Tuesday next week. But he's back in work on Wednesday. But yeah, it's not brilliant. It's just, I know we're nowhere near as bad off as some people, you know. We haven't got young children at home. We're nearly paid up with the mortgage and things, but when you're used to 2 incomes coming in, and we've gone for nearly a year with 1 and a little bit, it's getting tough right now. So I'm looking for a different job. I won't apply for teaching jobs. I've had a few bad experiences, and no, I'm not willing to do that anymore. So yeah, I'm looking for a different sort of job. But yeah, I'll just have to see how things go over the next couple of months. But yeah, it's just silly. But yeah, I have been stitching a lot more than usual this past couple of weeks while we've been in the lockdown. The anxiety level's gone up again. But yeah, we'll be fine. We'll get through it. take each day as it comes and just muddle through as we always have done. Yeah, so I think that's about it really. So my next video will be on the 30th of January, I think. 3 videos in a month. Yeah. So yeah, 30th of January, it'll be the Saturday in 2 weeks time. So I hope everyone has a nice few weeks. Stay safe, keep stitching, and I'll see you in 2 weeks. Bye for now.